show. No fucking crazy, no fight. Let's go down through James design and Mike design. What's up? Marco's on the mission. He has no beat. Ready for pain. But the fucking night's here. 610 pounds. I'm here to help you. He's his own truck. And his own jury. Give him a step. I'm in trouble. No, stop. Who is it? Here comes destruction. On to the land. If you cross the passport, you better on death. The only one to do is get paid. And when you see the giant, get out of his way. What's up? I'm in traffic. No, stop. Who is it? Bring it out! Now come on, everyone! If you know the words, come on up! Xavier! Look, what's that? No timing! No, stop him! Who is it? Cook it up! No, everyone move that shit! Oh!
You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
What's happening? And we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. What's up, everybody? I feel like it's been a long time. It's been a week and a half. The last show we did was with Steve from Deicide. Feels like a long time ago. But it's good. I like this week and a half sort of break once in a while, you know. Scam Dust, what's up, bro? Here we go. They're all pouring in. Queens represent. You know, today's a big theme Astoria Queens show. I see some Astoria denizens showing up in the chat room. So, who did I just see? Didn't I see you, Danielle? Where are you? There you go. Yes. What's up, Danielle? Yeah. Queens in the house today on the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. I hope everybody's doing well. And even if you're not doing well, even if your life's fucked up, I'm glad you're here. And I hope that this show and these 2 hours can relieve some of your anguish. Life is pain, as Marauder used to say, right? So I hope this gives you a little relief before you have to go back to your stressful. What's up, Zach? Right. Hey, I want to mention, I want to, we did the Bowery Electric thing on Sunday. It was Crazy Eddie's last show. So I want to wish Lenny and Crazy Eddie a fond farewell here on the air. They were a big part of what we do down at the Bowery Electric. It was really, really a great show. Fantastic show. A couple pictures from Steven Messina. This is a cool one. It's a great day. Here's another one. It's a cool one. There you go. It was a joyous occasion. It was a fond farewell to our friends. And then, of course, Chucky Brown, who has been a big contributor to the show. I was thinking when he was playing, I was like, it's the last time this guy's got to wear this mask through a whole set. God, it's got to be rough wearing that mask. It was hot in there, So, but yeah. Listen, there's an ebb and a flow to this thing, People come into the scene, people leave the scene, people come back to the scene. It's interesting. Ever consider live streaming Bowery Electric shows for those that can't be there? Yeah, I think we tried to put it together once. It's just not something that they do down there. Should look into it. Be a cool thing. I should look into that. That would be a cool thing. We should be streaming those Bowery shows. I think there's a little technology involved, and you got to get some people involved. I got to find out, but it's not a bad idea. Should do that. Just leave the camera on the whole time. Like people could just watch like the band setting up and Sid the Kid, playing crappy punk rock music, and all that. So, one more from the other day, Big Gary Muttley. I tell you, this band was great. Brass Knuckle Brigade. This band crushes, led by Big Gary Muttley. And yes, it's a tie-in because we are playing with them on Friday at the Upstage Music Fest out in Clearview, Pennsylvania, along with E-Town Concrete, Sworn Enemy, Brick by Brick, Mephistopheles, so on and so forth. Hey, do you know today is the big reveal for the 400 show? If you can hang in till a sponsor break, gonna announce the 400 show. It's a good one. It is a good one. So yeah, the 10 questions are back. If anybody's noticed, kind of doing. I managed to knock out a couple interviews and put them together. I kind of updated the whole thing. I put it in the new computers, so it's a little bit easier. So I did 4 of them. I did Jamie Sharappa from SSD, Stickman from Fury of 5, Sal Lococo from Sworn Enemy, and I'm gonna drop the next one in a couple days. That's Mark McKay from Slapshot and The Long Wait. I'm gonna drop that one in a couple days. Yeah. Now the 10 questions are good. People love them. It's just time consuming. I gotta shoot it. I gotta edit it. Can I tell you? So that said, what else? I think we're pretty good. I'm excited to announce the 400 show. 400 shows, man. That's fucking nuts. You want to hear something funny? Kind of as we're here. So on another note, so I'm booking shows and I'm talking to Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity about coming on the show. And I'm texting him back and forth. And about 15 minutes ago, I get a text from him, says, fuck you. And I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, what's that all about? And then like 15 minutes go by and I'm like, oh God, what now? Like fuck you, fill in the blank. I don't know. I don't even want to say it on the air. And then he goes, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I can't handle multiple texts. How embarrassing. That was for a friend. I'm sorry. Fuck me. And I said, fuck you too, bro. Why don't you come on the show? So anyway. Hey, what's happening in Denver? I need an intern. Yeah, I do need an intern. The thing is about an intern is doing what I do is I'd have to give them all my codes, because I have to, and that might not be the best idea to all my passwords to get into Facebook, to get into Instagram. And like, that might not be a good idea. I've heard too many horror stories. Danny Cole in the house. We can start the show. There you go. Good to see you. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Mad Vintage, Women of the Pit, and Candle Witch Co. Candle Witch Co. is a female-owned entrepreneur business based out of the great state of Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys handcrafts soy wax candles set with intentions for your sanctuaries. She has accomplished a life goal dream since beauty school, debuting her artist showcase Hotties and Hellions that features live bands, burlesque, sideshow acts, vendors, food trucks, and this year, a live auction with all proceeds going to the mental health program Punk Rock Saves Lives. Catch her in the tri-state area doing her thing, slinging candles at events, and keep an eye out for her show coming to New York in the spring of 2026. You can find her on Etsy, on Instagram at Candle Witch Co. That said, let's clear the deck. Mike Dean will be a great guest. Fuck you. Excuse me? Bro. Like, fuck. I'm like, oh, dude, you fucking smacked my girlfriend's ass 300 years ago. Like, you fucking like, I'm like, what now? Like, oh Christ, what is this? Fuck me? Like, what? All right. Yeah, Pepper would be cool. We had one corrosion dude on. What's his name? Carl Agel, who's very nice. Nice guy. All right. Enough of this silliness. Let's here we go. Let's make sure we're all good. All right, I think we're good. Today's guest is a Greek-American drummer hailing from where else but Astoria, Queens. In his proficient career, he's known for his work with the bands Crown of Thornz, Skarhead, Stillsuit, Homicidal, Hatebreed, Fit of Anger, Yupicide, Truth and Rights, and Leeway NYC. Please welcome, coming at us from Kalamata in the country of Greece, Mr. Dimi Douvas. Did I say it right?
Yes. I like the way you said it too. You added the little thing. Yeah, that was perfect.
Kalamata.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you for having me on, brother. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here, man. I mean, considering you and me were just bullshitting for about an hour before the show, I feel like, it's going to be pretty easy,
Cool. Can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So, let's see. You were asking me, what my favorite TV show was when I was a kid or growing up. And you and I had this like conversation about it. And so let me, favorite TV show when you were a kid growing up, post it in the chat room now. Favorite TV show. And like for me, I said like when I was a kid, it was like Welcome Back, Kotter, Good Times, and Happy Days. Like I was a kid, you know, when those were actually in their first run, you know, when Happy Days. Happy Days was big, man. You know, Dukes of
I
Hazzard.
especially liked it when the Thornz would hit the jukebox and then the song would come on. That was the shit.
Yeah.
Especially, it was always Blueberry Hill, always.
Yeah, right. I found my freedom.
Yeah,
Laverne and Shirley. Well, Laverne and Shirley's a spin-off of Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Three's Company. You asked me about
Hell
that,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Were you a Three's Company fan?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Three's Company, What's Happening, Good Times.
18.
18 was great, too. 18. George Papard was amazing in that.
That was a little after my, time, but 18, sure. Emergency, like the original Emergency.
Whoa.
That was cool. I watched, I was into that. Emergencies, like they go to an emergency. Like, you know, where's the emergency? Oh, sick of it all. Wonder Woman with Linda Carter.
Sick. Yeah.
What was that lasso she had? Was that the truth lasso? She would just lasso and they'd have to tell the truth. That's like a, you know, that's like a good weapon to have, like the truth lasso. Like, I'll make you tell the truth, motherfucker. You know. See, Larry Kelly, Kojak. We talked about
Kojak, yeah, the Greek repping. Telly Savalas.
Telly Savalas.
Real Greek.
Can't get more Greek than that, man.
No, yeah, he loved his culture for sure.
He did. He repped hard, man. He repped Greek culture super hard, man. Yeah. Yep.
And he filmed in Astoria, supposedly, right?
That's right. He did a lot of
film scenes in Astoria.
Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That theme was amazing too. The Incredible Hulk theme was.
Yeah. Dragnet, Fantasy Island, Sanford and Son. Sanford and Son, I remember when I was a kid. Sanford and Son was outrageous, man.
Planet of the Apes too. Planet of the Apes.
Well, that was good. Hey, Danielle says hi, man.
Danielle.
Speaking of Astoria, typical scam dust. What about the detective that always got his guy? He played stupid every time. I just can't remember the name. Is that what was the show that was sort of like, it had like not a horror, it had like a not a horror, the Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker. You ever see that? That was Columbo. Oh, Columbo? You talk about Columbo, Isaac? I'm not Isaac. Scam? Probably talking about Columbo. Columbia? Columbo. What's happening was good too. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good way to kick it off. Anyway, let's get down. Yes, Columbo, he says.
Yeah, we can talk about that shit all day. Great TV shows.
Hey,
fuck, man.
Hey,
we can go on and on.
Dimi will talk. Scam, next time you guys are in the van going to the next show, you guys.
One of the many things we talk about.
Yeah, right? Yeah, every band kind of has that thing, you know? It's like, maybe not every band, but a lot of bands I've been involved with kind of have that thing. Like when everybody's
we do that a lot.
Yeah. You know,
we have that. Would you? You know, would you for money? Would you do this? Would you do that?
Oh, is that what you guys do? You know?
Yeah. Would you lick a Subway seat for $20? You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Would you lick Tommy Rat's back for $10? You know what I mean?
You know what we do? We do yo fuck.
Pick up Tommy Rat. Tommy Rat Queens, kid.
You know what we do? We do yo fuck that guy. Yo, we love that guy. Like we'll be in the van and someone will go, yo, sound man from last night. And someone will be like, yo, fuck that guy. Or, yo, we love that guy. You know what I mean? It's like someone will throw a name out there like, you know, dude that was up front repping hard. Yo, we love that guy. You know? So, yeah, we do yo, fuck. We do yo, yo, fuck that guy. Yo, we love that guy. So, anyway.
Awesome.
How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Music was, not a part of my growing up. It was mostly Greek culture, you know what I mean? So it was just like ethnic music. My parents were born in Greece, so when they came to the States and had me, they were just listening to Greek music constantly. So listening to, I guess, hip hop really started me to like just branch out and start going my own way. And then I, discovered metal through friends, and then hardcore, was just the next step above. When you hear metal, you want something harder, you want something faster. What's like faster than this, than this. So thank God, I had friends in Astoria in the neighborhood that showed me, and there were so many bands in Astoria that were coming up, like amazing hardcore bands.
You grew up in Astoria, Queens?
Yeah. My parents were born in Greece, and then they immigrated to Astoria and had me in Astoria. So I grew up in Astoria.
Were you born in Astoria General?
No, I was born in not too far from Astoria. This hospital's gone now. It was called Physicians Hospital. It was in Jackson Heights. It was on Northern Boulevard, right off Northern Boulevard, behind JM's house. Shout out JM.
and
so
but like you said, like as a young person, you heard a lot of traditional Greek music.
Yes. Big time. My parents were so into it because that was their culture, so they brought it with them to the States, and they would only really go to Greek clubs and stuff like that and listen to Greek music. So I got my information from my friends, like my music stylings and whatever.
What was the place out there? The Grecian Cave?
The Grecian Cave, yes, sir, 100%. That's where they went. That's what they went. It was like a downstairs live venue.
It was around for a long time.
Players.
It was like a live venue.
Till the 80s.
Yeah.
Late 80s they shut it down.
Yeah, I remember it. And at what point did you start hearing like other music coming into play?
Hip hop when I was young, and then like about 6th, 7th grade, I started listening. My friends put me onto their friends who were in bands. So I heard Leeway for the first time. I heard Murphy's Law, mostly because it was an Astoria thing too. Because we passed around cassettes, so my friends were making mixtapes with Leeway on it, or Murphy's Law, or Killing Time. These bands were all Queens bands and Outburst, local Astoria bands. So that's how my intro to hardcore was that way, through just being the mecca, the center of the universe for me, Astoria, Queens.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky, very blessed, True, that I came up in that neighborhood, because there's no way. It was a catalyst for me, starting to play music and listening to that New York hardcore. It was a huge catalyst. If I wasn't raised in Astoria, there's no way I would have put on to that music.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting, and I was going to. There was going to be, when I was doing the New York Hardcore Chronicles film. Originally, it was going to be very episodic. It was going to keep going and going and going, and then at a certain point, I had to sort of abandon that idea and turn it into like a 90-minute documentary, let's say. But I had a couple of other episodes sketched out that I didn't get a chance to shoot. Some I shot partially, but one of the episodes, I forgot what I was going to name it, was like something like "What's in the Water in Astoria, Queens?" Like, why do so many why do so many hardcore bands came out of Astoria, Queens? Like, why is that?
I think it was because of the pollination of so many bands starting and hanging out with each other. Because Astoria is like main parks; it's got big parks. The Astoria Park being the main park. So Astoria had a lot of schoolyards that a lot of kids used to hang out back then. So we would migrate from schoolyard to Astoria Park. There's always music playing, or somebody in a band would be hanging out. So I'd run into AJ from Leeway. I would run into Jimmy Gestapo or Jimmy Gestapo's brother. It would just music, being cross-pollinated left and right. Here's a tape. Here's this. We just did that. We're playing a show here. We're playing a show there. Sure. And that was like my intro. And then once you hear these bands for the first time, so amazing. Changes your life-changing stuff.
Josh asks, is it weird finding new music and then realizing the bands are your neighbors?
Yes, in a way, because I was like, I can't believe this is, like these guys are actually doing it on this level of success. You know what I mean? Like the guys are from the same neighborhood that I grew up with. You know what I mean?
Right.
They went to the same school I went to. We at the same parks, eat at the same pizzerias, and shoot the shit half the time. So
it's inspiring.
It definitely helped.
It's inspiring. It's
sure.
like these are kids at my age, and kids a little bit older than me that kind of came up the way that I did, and they're out doing it. And Chris from Rikers says, if you weren't raised in Astoria, we probably wouldn't know each other.
Facts.
Yeah. So did you? This is an old photo, but as a young person, did you swim in Astoria pool?
Yes, 100%. Yeah. I actually had a bad experience too in Astoria. That was the last time I went to Astoria pool. My mom took me there with my brother, and we were swimming in the pool, and we actually saw a floating turd. So that was it for me. We cut it out. Yeah. We cut it all out. It wasn't a Snickers bar either. That shit was a real turd.
Wow.
That shit was a real shit.
That shit was a real shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like 86, something like that. We were done with the pool. That was it for me.
Yeah.
No matter how much chlorine's in there, I mean, now they refurbished it. They put like millions of dollars of renovation. It looks nothing like it used to. It's amazing.
Yeah. And this was just in my archive. I thought it was interesting because, back, I mean, this is probably late 80s, early 90s, but the double R to Astoria, Yeah.
Yep.
Those were,
Flashback.
Shit's real. Shit's getting real.
Yeah. That shit was real.
Yeah. So, yeah. So at what point, like, did you, what was the first music that you felt like this is mine? Like this is speaking to me?
Not until I went to like my first show. You know what I mean? Like when I went to my first show, seeing being there and feeling the energy was completely different than listening to it on like a cassette tape.
Yeah.
So when my first experience going to show was just overwhelming. It was really overwhelming.
Do you
I'm very
remember
lucky
what it
and
was?
blessed. Yeah. I went to 2 shows in one day. I went to ABC No Real first. I really got pushed into the deep end. Yeah. Shout out to my friend Gil, who brought me to a Born Against, Raw Shack, and I believe it was Citizen's Arrest at ABC No Rio.
That's a real ABC No Rio show.
Yeah. It was. Born Against was insane. Raw Shack was insane. They were straight up punk rock hard. You know what I mean? It was pure insanity. It hit me. The levels of just excitement and energy was.
Sure.
It was. Regardless of the smell in there, regardless of the basement, and the sound and whatever was going on in that place.
Yeah.
That was my first show. And that same night, I went to CB's and I went to Iceman record release party. Shout out to H. Potter for bringing me to that one.
Wow.
It was Iceman's record release party. It was, and then seeing that, it was just a completely different style CB's compared to ABC. And the Icemen were like silent and profiling. Noah, Mackie, forget about it. It was,
I saw
it was
them
overwhelming to see that.
Yeah, I saw them a bunch of times. And were you inspired to play drums? Like how and why drums? Why drums?
Drums. It started really. My neighbor next door lived in an apartment, and he bought a drum set first. And he was having drum offs, like neighborhood drum offs. So he would invite kids from the neighborhood to like play a song and battle, kind of like who could play it the best. So he invited me I didn't know how to play drums at all whatsoever. So he invited me, and I just felt foolish, because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So a few months later, I was, after that weird experience where I was like, damn, I can't do this. Like a few months later, he came to me and he was like, dude, I can teach you. You know what I mean? I can give you some lessons. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn on my own. I'm gonna prove it to myself. So the story, this is a crazy story because I got my drum set very lucky. My first drum set, I was very, very lucky on getting it. Because back then, I lived in a middle to low class, we working class family. We didn't have money like that to throw like on drums and whatever. And we lived in a small apartment, so my neighbors and whatever, it was just very difficult. You know what I mean? So getting my first drum set from getting my parents to buy me my first drum set was a huge deal for me. You know what I mean? And I set out like on a mission. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play drums, like, no matter how bad it sounds. and I didn't take any lessons. I forced myself to go to shows and watch other drummers, and that's how I learned. I went to like as many shows as possible, and I wasn't paying attention to the rest of the band. I would try to find a spot by the drummer and just focus, and then try to steal little things. You know what I mean? Like little fills or little nuances, or even just style. You know what I mean? How somebody plays. Like this guy sits low, this guy sits high. You know what I mean?
You went to school. You went to school on
100%.
Yeah.
Like
I can relate to that. I did the same as a singer. I would go to school and watch people and maybe take something from this guy, take something from that guy, and go, I like, you know. So who inspired you early on as a drummer? Who really rang your bell and inspired you?
You know, the greats of hardcore, New York hardcore. Mackey's, Pokey, Willie, Sammy, Armand, you know what I mean? All the greats. So
yeah.
I'm very blessed to see those people play. You know what I mean? It was
yeah. I mean, they were all great drummers. I mean, Mackey,
real life legends. You know what I mean? Playing right in front of you. It's amazing.
Those guys are everyone you just named. Really great drummers.
Yeah,
in their own have their own distinctive style too. You know,
100%.
Mackey's got, you know, a lot of pep in his step and's got some bounce. You know, Will has a unique. You know, they're all kind of unique in their own way.
Yeah,
so.
Armand, brutal. Like, oh, forget about it. When I saw that, I was like, Jesus, this guy fucking paddles the shit.
You know what the guys in Sepultura called him when they toured? The Machine.
Yeah.
They called him the Machine. You know? So those guys, those were early influences, and you get out there and how do you end up? What was your first band? How did you get, you know, how did that go?
I kind of started two bands, playing in two bands at the same time, like jamming. So one of them was this friend of mine, Franklin, who ended up getting me into Crown of Thornz. So I jammed with a band, in a band with him for a little while. And he was at the time playing in Oceans of Mercy, which was with H. Potter, Harry, and Gus Straight Edge.
I like that
so
name,
at the time,
Oceans of Mercy.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Oceans of Mercy. They were a really good band. So at that time, I was jamming with them kind of like on and off. And we started a band called Origins with my friend Gil. So we were doing that for a lot, but we really didn't play shows or anything. We did like a Don Fury demo, and Don Fury would just let you go in, press record, and, you know, let you do your thing for a little while and do like a 2-track demo. So we did that, but we never really played shows or anything like that. But Franklin was the catalyst for me to get into Crown of Thornz.
I see.
And I started, you know, they needed a drummer, and Franklin was like, I jammed with this dude, Dimi. He's awesome. He's got a place to practice too. Nice guy. So let's make it work. So that's how I met Dejan. I already knew Isaac from, you know, Astoria, because, you know, keg parties, hanging out at parks. Isaac was part of that, you know what I mean, back then.
That was like it was like a prerequisite. Like, is he a Queens dude? Is he a Queens guy?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
he's a
yeah.
Queens
he's
guy?
He's Astoria.
Oh, is it Astoria guy? All right.
Yeah.
Let's check.
And we're all from the neighborhood, pretty much very close by. Franklin lived in Jackson Heights. Isaac lived in, you know, Jackson Heights, Woodhaven at the time. And then Dejan lived in Astoria right by me, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he's still an Astorian right now. So am I too. Still trying to hold it down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that was the catalyst. That was, you know, the first band that I jammed with was like, you know, the beginning of Crown Thornz. But at the same time, I was jamming with Stillsuit, but we weren't called Stillsuit yet. It was Standoff at that time. And at that time, H. Potter, Harry, was playing with Standoff. He was playing drums for them. So he had started 25 to Life at the same time. So he couldn't do this Stillsuit Standoff stuff. So he bowed out and was like, I got my friend Dimi who could play. So I jumped in that, and I was doing it at the same time with Crown of Thornz. So, and then Stillsuit had to change the name. It was called Standoff. We had to change the name because we ran into problems because somebody else already had that name. They already were called Standoff. So we changed it to Stillsuit.
That makes sense. So kind of like, in a way, Crown of Thornz was sort of like your first band.
Yeah. I was still in school. I was still in high school.
Did you have any idea what you were getting yourself into?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No way. Life changing, you know what I mean? I had no idea. what I was getting myself into. But I felt it, like, even from the first show, I felt it. I felt like the energy, and I felt like, wow, this is something else,
Yeah, well,
this is not just a regular bar band,
Yeah, and Eddie Medina, Oakland represent, Powerhouse. What year are we talking? 95?
A little earlier, like 93, 94.
I see. Yeah, I mean, shows were intense back then.
Oh yeah,
like these bands that were playing in 93, 94, like shows were like melees. It was there was like constant violence, constant like they were not like, let me just go and kind of stand in the back and enjoy it. Fucking shows were like battlefields,
Yeah, especially Biohazard shows. Biohazard had a huge reputation at that time, where people were telling me like, "Yo, you go to that show for real? Like, you better watch. Last time this happened, this fight broke out, this happened. Those are the craziest bits. You sure you want to go to that show? Like, it was chaos, chaos."
Yeah, well, Eddie says I went to Lemoore to see his. Yeah, well, Lemoore. I mean, I've been dealing with some Biohazard footage fairly lately, and a lot of the footage that I shot was 90, late 92, 93, most of it, and 94 in Europe. But 93, man, every show was like, it was like just a fucking full scale riot,
Yeah. Danny also had a huge influence on me too. His style was something different too. Like, he brought like an extra style to them that was it's amazing.
What's incredible about
drumming there is fucking crazy.
What's incredible about Danny Schuler and his drumming, because as I'm working on doing a project, a Biohazard project, is like, he was very talented at a very young age. Like, at a very young age, Danny Schuler was in Biohazard like as a teenager, and he played some of those iconic drum patterns as a freaking teenager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But I guess, kind of either have it or you either have it or you don't. So
in a weird way, it helped pop off Crown of Thornz, because at that time Isaac was roadieing for Biohazard. He was jumping around and helped sing it all. So that's what really was the catalyst for him to be like, hey, I need to start a band. This is amazing,
Well, we've talked about this often, and I think it's true, is that the success that Biohazard had in 1993, I was somewhat grateful for a little part of that I contributed to, doing the Punishment video and the Shades of Grey video, and we did the Onyx Slam video, we did the Bionics video, we did the but the Biohazard
legendary
success,
shit.
Yeah, the Biohazard success really inspired a lot of people. And I remember when we did Punishment, all those guys were there in the video, and you could just, hey, if these guys can do it, well, then why can't I do it? And Biohazard inspired a lot of people to get up off their fucking asses and give it a shot. And a lot of bands sort of got going after that,
Yeah, they definitely put out a blueprint. Like, you don't have to be like this, you don't have to be like that. Just come out and do your things. Do it in your style. Doesn't matter,
It's crazy. Very influential band. And then, and we're talking locally in New York, but they also, once they got out of New York, they sort of, seeded the clouds in other places and inspired bands all over the place. So
internationally, for sure.
Internationally. So Crown of Thornz, you're out and you're playing, and just before, I'll put this up there because I think we're heading towards this, which is a kind of a really a beloved release by Crown of Thornz. I think it's when people think of Crown of Thornz. Who was in the band when you first joined?
Myself, Mike DeJean, Isaac, and Franklin on bass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was put out by Equal Vision Records, Trademark Blues, which also, shout out to Steve Reddy. He took a huge chance on us,
Right.
We weren't a Hare Krishna band at that point, you know what I mean?
Right,
and that was pretty much a Hare Krishna label at that point. So he made the turn. He was like, I'm gonna put this band out. And at the time, we had a little bit of a reputation too of like, you know what I mean? These guys fights at their shows, you know what I mean? They're one of those bands, they're like a gang band, you know what I mean? So we had a little bit of a bad reputation at that point. So he took a chance on us big time, and it worked out for us. And it was.
Could you give us any perspective on recording it, or any memories you might have of sort of?
Yeah, I got vivid memories from there because it was like one of my first real recordings. Mark Newman at the time was playing with Sheer Terror, so we were looking for a studio to record. Mike DeJohn had a lot of music, and we did shows with Sheer Terror at that moment. So Mark Newman was playing with Sheer Terror at the moment, and he was guiding. He kind of helped. We were asking him because at that time he had a honed-in sound. He knew about recordings. He was a little bit more versed in everything. So he kind of pushed us to go to the studio in Rockaway, Queens. This engineer called Mitch Glider. I forgot the name of the studio, but it was definitely a crazy experience because we went in the middle of nowhere in Rockaway and laid down what was the Train Yard Blues. And it was my first recording, like real recording, sitting down with like headphones in a different room, click track, all that nonsense, you know what I mean? So it was definitely overwhelming for me, but it was with the final product, I was so happy with it. You know what I mean? What came out, I was amazed with it. I couldn't believe that at that young age that, we put out something like that. And Mike DeJohn's songwriting too. Yeah. When he came to me with like we were jamming at that time, still early in the game, we were jamming in my basement of my house, and my mom would let us jam in the basement. So we were writing those songs like Juggernaut, Head Check. Those songs were written in my basement. And when he showed me the riffs, I had no idea what he was showing. I was expecting like a Madball, Bulldoze in that vein. You know what I mean? Sick of It All, in that Biohazard in that vein. Yeah. When he came to me with those riffs, I was just perplexed. I didn't know what to do with them. I was like, how do I put a drum beat to this? You know what I mean? And to make it sound hardcore. And that's what was awesome about that, because he was like, just play. Don't think like, oh, you're trying to play a hardcore beat? Don't think that way. Just play the beats of the music that you hear. So that way we can just hone in on our own sound. And Mike DeJohn was a huge part of that, the songwriting process. And Isaac at that time was going through so much in his life. His life was topsy-turvy. So the lyrics really represent that. You know what I mean? If you read the lyrics and how they fit into the song, amazing. Like, he's one of the best lyricists ever. You know what I mean? He's got that. That's his like niche. You know what I mean? His lyric writing is unstoppable. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, DeJohn, that's good advice, man. That he gave you. It's like, don't get caught up in trying to make it this or that. Just be yourself. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
And at the time, he was playing with breakdown, so their music is straight up hardcore. So I was assuming he was going to come to me with those kind of riffs, and he was writing for breakdown at the time. Street fight and stuff like that. So I was just like, wow, what is he showing me? It sounds like Rush.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got like different influences. This is not just hardcore. This is something else.
Yeah, that's pretty intimidating.
Very blessed to be in the situation that I was, and my timing. A friend of mine says it all the time. Trust the timing of life, and I really live by that. I trust the timing. Right. Everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? You're put in a place at a certain time for a certain reason, and that's what happened.
That's right. I always felt like Mentally Vexed was sort of like the companion piece to Train Yard Blues. Is that fair to kind of think that? Like, I didn't feel like they were so radically different.
They're not, but the recording process was radically different. You know what I mean?
Tell us about it. Yeah.
The title of the record says it all. We were really mentally vexed, like especially the three of us, me, Isaac, and Mike DeJohn. We were really like rushing to put stuff out and get on tour as fast as possible. You know what I mean? We were just like deadline. Then we got to get this out, do this, do that. We were like a machine at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the Mentally Vexed title just fits that time period. You know? We went to Rhode Island to Tom Sawyer's, where pretty much all the hardcore, legendary New York hardcore bands went.
Normandy Sound.
Yeah, Normandy Sound in Rhode Island, which also did the Backstreet Boys. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And New Kids, something like that. New Kids. New Kids, not Backstreet. New Kids on the Block. New Kids, not Backstreet. Yeah. The other boy band. Yeah. So they had heavy hitters at that recording studio. obviously all our favorites, Leeway. And shout out to AJ Novello from Leeway, who really was a huge, like, he kind of coached us through that whole, like, this is the studio, this is how it's going to go down. You only have a certain amount of time because of your, you know, your budget. So you got to kind of like cramp everything down. And that's like one of the reasons why I didn't record all the songs on that record. We did like redid the Train Yard Blues EP. We did a few songs again, like we did Juggernaut again. We re-recorded Head Check again. On those songs, Lou Medina, who was playing in Breakdown at the time with Mike DeJohn, came in because we were so like strapped on time, and I was doing like 12 takes of each song recording wise. Tom Swords was very, very meticulous, and which at that time I was really just like, what is this guy doing to me? But later on in life, I was like, you know what? You know what I mean? It's something, it's a life lesson. That's exactly what I needed at that point to become a better drummer, a better musician. Like real recordings, that's how they go down. You know what I mean? So
Tom doesn't fuck around, and
I've
heard
not
stories.
At all.
I've heard many stories of, hey, this guy's not cutting it. I'm gonna make a call and bring somebody in that can. I mean, I've heard 100%. That story from Normandy, and for anybody 100%. Out there about Normandy's sound, people might have seen Normandy's sound on the back of these records, and Normandy was an interesting place. It was I don't want to say it was in the middle of nowhere, but it was in Rhode Island, and there wasn't a lot going on there, and it was sort of in a house, let's say, and the recording studio was on the first floor, and you went up this like weird staircase kind of into the attic, and you would stay there. There was like bunk beds there and stuff like that. So the concept being that the reason why a lot of bands from New York ended up there is because you had no choice but to fucking focus up there. It was kind of hard to get in trouble up at Normandy Sound. There wasn't, you roam the streets of Warren, Rhode Island, getting into shit. I mean, I was up there a bunch of times. I was up there when I was managing Marauder. We did recorded Master Killer there. I was up there when I managed Furia 5. We recorded At War of the World with there. I was up there with Paris and Harley when they did the White Devil thing. I was up there. So there was like 5 different times that I was like, found myself in one of those bunk beds in fucking Normandy. In like a 2-year span, it was like, I mean, again, this place, Yeah.
Tom Swords definitely leveled us up. You know what I mean? He definitely leveled us up. Like I remember vividly, I recorded a track, like I did a track twice, and he just stopped me and he was like, "Yo, one of your drums is out of tune," and I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "One of your toms is out of tune." So he came into the room and he went on the piano and he was like, "It should sound like this," and he was hitting the piano keys, and I would sit there and tune. That was like the first. I didn't know anything about that. You know what I mean? I was like, "What is he doing?" In my mind, I'm like, "This guy's just fucking with me right now. What is he doing?" But in reality, he was helping me so much. You know what I mean? And only later on in life, I was like, wow, that guy really leveled us up. You know what I mean? At the time, I was thinking, this guy's just being crazy. Like, what is he doing? Like, why is he making me waste time hitting a drum and tuning with a piano at the same time? Why is he doing that?
Was Mentally Vexed recorded up there at all?
The whole record recorded up there. We did it in one weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, we only had a small budget, so we had to rock. We wanted our shit to sound like, like the legacy bands that came out before us in New York hardcore. And we had AJ, who was our in with Tom, so.
Did AJ, it's produced by AJ Novello, Mike DeJohn.
Yep.
Yeah. And Tom, okay. Yeah. You kind of assembled the A team.
Yeah. I had AJ in the room with me while I was recording drums, and he was my my click track. He was sitting there making sure I stay on the click. You know what I mean? He sat in the room with me while I was recording everything.
Did you record? You mentioned a click track. Did you record these early records with a click?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough. You know what I mean? Like starting out like it because I had no idea. You know what I mean? I was still early in the game. And it was very difficult at the time. The first time I heard the click, I was like, "What is that? What is that? What is that?" I hear something in my ear, and they're like, "That's the click. That's what you got to follow." I was like, What?
Hey man, we've all.
I wasn't practicing to a click. Now I practice to a click, and now that I'm older. But when I was young, I was not practicing to no click. I didn't even know what the fuck it was.
I've seen drummers melt down, bro. Like, in the recording studio when faced with a click. For those out there that might not be familiar with this sort of situation,
the lingo, yeah.
a click track, a drummer plays to a click track to keep in rigid time, but some drummers just are not, just can't, I hate to say it, can't handle it.
It's intimidating for sure.
It's intimidating.
Like if you never practice to it, yeah, it's definitely intimidating for sure.
Now, for instance, the band I'm in, we don't play with a click track. So when you listen to our music, it starts at one speed and it ends at another.
Brother, I like stuff like that. Honestly, I do. Because it gives it a more natural sound. And certain times, there's parts where it needs to fall back. You know what I mean? And there's other times where it needs to speed up a tiny little bit. You know what I mean? Well, you don't go too crazy and make it like so like noticeable. You do it like a tiny little bit.
My band's
all about so much to songs.
My band's all about that, bro. We're not a click track band. Things start at a speed. They speed up for the chorus. They slow down for the and it's awesome. I like that. And you can, and I'm not knocking. I know a lot of bands play with a click, and it works for them. I mean, Chris Bulldoze, we were just in the studio with Biohazard. Those guys play to a click, and then seeing them edit and do overdubs with a click blew my mind.
That's the main reason for the click, to do stuff like that. That's the main. Then you can do whatever you want with the music.
I mean, I got shook, man. I never see anything like that. Like seeing those guys, seeing Danny Schuler work like that. Like, hey, I missed the drum roll. Take it back, and they start, and they get up to speed, and they punch him in. He does the roll, and they punch him out, and it's like, holy shit, that was impressive. Yeah. So that's it. Hey, so tell us about Stillsuit, because I know that you mentioned that, and that was,
same time period.
Yeah. So tell us about Stillsuit and the guys in it and how that came to be.
Like I said, well, we were Standoff first. We had to change the name to Stillsuit, and early on, we were like part of like the Bond Street scene, where we played a lot of shows at Bond Street, and we did pretty well over there. And then we played a lot of shows in Long Island too, where we were, we teamed up with VOD and bands from Silent Majority, bands from Long Island, Mind Over Matter. So we kind of fell into like a different scene than Crown of Thorns. So it was kind of easier for me to like have two different alter egos. You know what I mean? Like one band does this, one band does that, and we're not playing the same audience. You know what I mean? Kind of, we're playing a little bit different. Even though it's New York hardcore, it's a little bit different. We're playing, different places. Like Crown of Thorns didn't play Bond Street too much. We played it like once. You know what I mean? And Long Island, we played Long Island just as pretty much about the same. But Crown of Thorns got we did US and we did international immediately. Whereas Stillsuit, we kept it domestic. You know what I mean? We kept it pretty much in the Northeast. You know what I mean? We really didn't go too far. Like as far as around the country. Like we toured around the country, but that was a little bit later on.
This is an interesting flyer. What is this? Oh, this is on Ditmars Boulevard, this place?
This was a record store. Yeah, this was a record store.
Look at this lineup in this record store on Ditmars Boulevard in Astoria. Holy mackerel, look at this. H2O, Breakdown, Stillsuit, Cold Front, Outburst, Circular Ruin. Wow. Oh, and no redeeming social value.
Yeah,
holy mackerel, look at that. Wow.
Yeah, very Queens. Awesome. Very awesome show to have it right in a record store. That was so cool.
Wow. And going
back to Stillsuit real quick, we got signed to Rec Age Records very early in our like existence. So we only, were around maybe like 6 months, and that was our first release right there. That's the Rec Age release. We played a show at CB's as part of like a Rec Age show, but we weren't on Rec Age yet. So Don Fury took a liking to us and was like, I'm friends with Amber and Pablos, who own Rec Age Records. I'm really close friends with them, and I produce like all the bands that are on the label. He's like, let me record you guys. I'll give it to them and try to have them put it out for you. So that he was a huge Don Fury was a huge catalyst in Stillsuit. He like, helped us get our first deal with Rec Age, and then later on helped us get into the TBT stage of the game, our second release. So Don Fury had a lot to do with Stillsuit behind the scenes.
And that, like you said, the first one was on Wreckage, and
Yep.
the second one, which I tell you, doing my homework for the show, I kind of came back to this a couple of times. I like the way this record sounds. Any memories of recording at the Speed of Light?
Definitely, yeah. We were at Don Fury's for, it was a different atmosphere during that time because Don Fury was very, very laxed. So I was used to Tom Soares and Mitch Glider. So when I went to Don was, just the dude already had New York hardcore in his blood. He did so many bands, so he just let us do our thing. And then he was like, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Change this, do that, get our sound, hone in on our sound. So he helped us do that a lot. Like he helped Julian with his lyrics. He helped Julian with the stylings of the vocals. He helped us with ideas too. As part is try this, try that, try this, try that. So it helped a lot. And he was a huge catalyst on getting us onto TBT. You know what I mean? So, and our A&R was an amazing person. Sean Roberts, he's still an amazing person. He was so into the band. He signed us to TBT, and that just changed everything for us. And we caught the last wave of record labels. You know what I mean? And we caught the last wave of tour support and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore.
I was that's what I was kind of getting at is that's exciting for a bunch of young fellas. TBT was a major label. Yeah.
They had the office right across the street from Tower Records, and we used to go there every day. And we would use the card, the record label card, pretty much every day to eat, buy whatever we needed. It was kind of a little fantasy at that time, you know what I mean? It helped us a lot just to live, you know what I mean, in general.
Hey, you know what? It's nice to have lived it for a young person,
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes, and going to an office at a record, you know what I mean? It just felt oh my God, this is for real. This is really happening. It's like a job, you know what I mean? This is amazing, and seeing the other artists that were part of the label too, wow, that was insane too.
Was 9 Inch Nails? 9 Inch Nails on TBT? Yeah.
9 Inch Nails. They signed Seven Dust pretty much right after us. So Seven Dust. They had a lot of hip hop too. Lil Jon was on there. Yin Yang Twins. Right. Mike Geronimo was on there. Who else? Royal Flush. They had a lot of hip hop going on at that time too. Pitbull. So we were on the label at the same time. It was amazing running into people in the office,
Not to categorize anything, but is it safe to say that Stillsuit was sort of like a post-hardcore band, like in the vein of Quicksand and that type of thing?
Burn, Quicksand, definitely. Into Another, definitely. A lot of those bands had an influence on us for sure.
Yeah, one of the joys of doing this show is, there's doing my homework for the show. There's bands that peripherally I kind of knew, I heard, but when I have a guest like you on the show and I do my homework, I'm like, wow, I like this Stillsuit record's fucking great.
Thank you. When we recorded that, pretty much at the same time period, Quicksand was recording Manic Compression at Don. So it was we were going in, they were going in. We were going in, they were going in. It was pretty insane time period. And at that time, Don Fury was on Spring Street, still in the basement. Yep. You know what I mean?
Well, Don Fury said to me, told me, he said for 10 years, he had bands coming there and going, we want to sound like the Gorilla Biscuits record.
Mm-hmm.
It's and he would just, run them through the grinder, okay, here's the amp, here's the this, here's the drum set. Bands
which he still has now to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, he still has that drum set. He still does. How old were you when that was recorded? Jeff asks. Probably 21.
At the Speed of Light? Yeah, 21.
Yeah, that was a great era, Ray. Quicksand, Handsome, Stillsuit. Yeah. Very, very.
And Shift was a brother band of ours too. We had one of our members, Manny, who plays bass in Stillsuit. He also plays second guitar in Shift for a time period too. So we played a lot of shows with Shift. And Shift at that time put out their first release on Equal Vision, and later went on to a major. They went on to Columbia. So it was pretty awesome to have somebody like who's your brother, and you know what I mean, just all of a sudden, you know, go from like a small little indie label like EVR, which is pretty much run by Steve and a bunch of devotees, to major, Columbia, huge, you know, where you get huge budgets and like you could pick any director you want for your video, you know what I mean, and studio, you know, work a budget and you guys could go work pretty much wherever you want.
That's
so
exciting.
It's cool to have brethren in our same kind of genre exploding, you know what I mean? It definitely helped us too.
That's exciting for a young person.
For sure.
How did the Stillsuit hand play out?
Around at the speed of light, we did some touring, and the label at that, even CVT is great, and our A&R was amazing. Sean Roberts was an amazing, and he did everything he could to help us. Yeah. But I feel like the sales and marketing of TVT, they didn't know what to do with us, so they kind of mismatched us. And our booking agent had a lot to do with it. Our booking agent would book us with like death metal bands and hardcore. Yeah, we played with like Obituary. We toured with Obituary. Like, you know what I mean? I love those guys. You know what I mean? I love Obituary, but Stillsuit and Obituary, you know, shouldn't really be playing shows together at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We should try to be playing somewhat in the same genre. I remember playing shows in front of their fans, and their fans were looking at us like, "What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?" Right?
Yeah. What is this? So I think that was pretty much the beginning of the end. And then our bass player Manny also at that time period started jamming with Glassjaw. So we were having like, you know, health problems in the band. So he kind of like, you know, started jamming with Glassjaw, and then, you know, pretty much was a full-time member of Glassjaw. And that was pretty much the end of Stillsuit at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Just before I take the break, I want to one thing we didn't talk about, and here's a flyer. This is an Agnostic Front reunion flyer. I was at this show.
Wow.
You know, Stillsuit's on the flyer. You know, one thing we didn't really mention is like this era in New York had these new venues. You mentioned Bond Street Cafe, and here's another one, Wetlands. Could you give us a take on kind of the circuit that you guys played, like Wetlands? You know, I know CB's was still around, but this was sort of a very vibrant time for music in New York.
Oh yeah, with Stillsuit, we did play Wetlands a lot. We played Coney Island a lot. Like we did, like I said before, we played Bond Street a lot. We got to play the Limelight, which one of my favorite clubs in New York of all time. You know, that was definitely one of my most memorable shows ever, playing Limelight. So we definitely got around the circuit. You know what I mean, in New York at the time. So
yeah,
and it was cool because at the time I was doing shows with Crown of Thorns, so. It was like like I said before, it was two alter egos going on at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's, and these are from the New York Hardcore Chronicles archive, but like here's a Crown of Thorns cold front at the Depot. The fuck? The Depot in the Bronx. What's up?
Bronx. Wow.
Look at that. The Depot. Sick. Hard. You know, there haven't been a lot of venues in the Bronx, you know.
Yeah, for real.
So, let me see. And this one this is great. What is this? Oh, this is very cool. This is the Train Yard Blues record release show at Coney Island High.
Oof.
Yeah, oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look
Chaos.
at this. Look, Chaos. Crown of Thorns, Cold as Life, Out Crowd. Yeah.
Out Crowd. Sick.
Yeah, that's
good stuff.
Yeah, good.
I believe Toby's brother, Todd, was in Out Crowd, right?
Yeah.
Was he?
So.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I think so. And the drummer too, Todd Friend, I think was in Out Crowd.
Todd Friend, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and they sort of got pulled into H2O. So that said, hey, let me take a sponsor break. And we'll come back, and I'm going to talk about some upcoming shows and announce the 400 show. And we'll come back and possibly with a couple special guests. All right, I'll see you in a couple.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right. That's right. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We're going to do some sponsor stuff. We're going to come back, go through a couple shows, announce the 400 show, and we will continue on our quest with Astoria, Queens, Dimi Douvas.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
And we're back. Although the internet is acting weird. Is it me or is the internet acting weird? That said, I wonder what would happen if I signed off the show and then signed back on. No, maybe that's not a good idea. That said, let's talk about some upcoming shows. Got a big announcement to make. So that said, Wednesday, August 13th, 1 week from today, Alec Mackay, brother of Ian, will be on the show. Of course, he played in the Untouchables, The Faith, Ignition, The Warmers, and currently in Hammered Hulls. A couple days after that, Tim Williams of VOD will be on the show. Bit after that, Johnny Eggs of Sheer Terror. Looking forward to that. And Wednesday, September 3rd, Mike Davenport from the Ataris will be on. This has yet to be announced publicly, but just a heads up, Wednesday, September 10th, episode number 393, Rebelmatic, Ma'afa, Wu-Tang Clan, Ramsey Jones, drummer extraordinaire, will be on the show. Wednesday, September 17th, Rat from the Varukers and Discharge will be on. Bobby Gustafson on Sunday, September 21st. John Gallagher from Raven on Sunday, September 28th, as we're getting closer to the 400th reveal. Sunday, October 15th, Zach Thorne from Bulldoze, Agents of Man, Homicidal, Skarhead, and Truth of Rights. And 399's not booked yet, but show 400. I will say this. I want to say this about show 400. there was a couple names that were in the air. Yes, Waddy was not available. Waddy was out on tour, so Waddy was not available. Eventually, we'll get Waddy. But I really felt for the 400 show, I wanted to get somebody that is a friend to the show, somebody that I like a lot, and someone who's super articulate, a big fan favorite, a great guitar player, and he has a new book that's coming out about this time. And I thought, we love this guy. So 400 show, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Brian Baker from Bad Religion, Minor Threat, Dag Nasty. He has a new book coming out called The Road. And just fucking love Brian Baker, man. And I just thought that's the kind of guest I want for something like this. You know, somebody that's just going to have a lot of graciousness and I know is going to be a fantastic guest. So yeah, Brian Baker is going to come back for 400. And you know, also a lot of times it comes down to also, you know, who's available, who's not on tour. So Brian, we made this work. So I'm excited about that. 400 show, Brian Baker. So there you go. That said, hey, just a reminder, please support the show. The show needs your support. There's a Patreon page and there's a PayPal address there. Best way to support the show is on Patreon. Don't be shy, let it fly, get on there. There's a $2 tier, a $5 tier. Get involved, support the show. Show needs your support. So that said, also, thank you. Yeah, and you know, another thing about Brian is like we could talk guitars, we could bring Zum back on, we could do a deep dive with there's a lot. He brings a lot to the party, you know. Hey, also speaking of leaving a tip, there is a super chat function that you could do. Super chat function for a couple bucks. Ask a question, it comes through in color. Go to the front of the line. So that said, let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guest back on. The pride of Astoria, Queens, Dimi Douvas. Hey, man.
Yo.
Hey, we got somebody, a mutual friend that wants to come on and disrupt the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the one, the only, Danny Diablo. What's up?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, that makes sense, right? We can't hear you, Danny. Turn your fucking mic on. He's got a new phone. That's his thing. There he is. Hey, you know, and there he goes.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Jesus. Oh, geez. Hey, we tried. You know, wait, is he back? Hey, can you hear me? I don't hear you, man. Nope. You got to put your mic on. Oh. Hey, there we go. Hey.
You hear me now?
Now I hear you, fuck brain.
Listen, what's going on? What's that fucking noise?
Turn the phone this way.
There you
Hey, there he is.
There you go.
All right, what's up?
What is that behind you? What are you in a knitting shop? Oh, it's all spray paint.
Cans, dude. Hell yeah.
Keep it real, son. 89.5 grand. The 89 grand shop is a shop that's run by me, son. We got graffiti, New York culture New York. We got clothing. Look at that. If you're at the Meadows in Brooklyn, come down, buy some merch from a real nigga.
There you go. Hey, Danny,
What's up,
tell us a
dude?
little. Hey, brother, tell us a little something about playing with Dimi and your friendship with Dimi growing up.
Dimi, why you do this to me, Dimi?
Look at you.
Dimi, why you do this to me, Dimi? You ever see The Omen? No. What's called? Exorcist. Remember the priest?
Yeah.
All right, listen,
Yeah.
Dimi. First of all, me and Dimi beat the shit out of any New York hardcore guys in basketball. That's the first thing. All these kind of Gorilla Biscuits and all those niggas, no one can play like us. We're real Queens niggas. So I had to say, Dimi's one of the nicest people in the world. He's my brother. I only seen Dimi get mad once ever, and that's when he kicked the shit out of Rick to life with me. That's about it. I never seen Dimi get mad at all. Dimi is a beautiful human being.
Oh, thank you. You are too, brother.
I'm a piece of shit, but it comes with the territory, you know.
Yeah.
But Dimi is one of the most underrated drummer. One of the best drummers out here was soul. He has rhythm, soul, and his groove. You know what I mean? So he's really a New York hardcore. Just a great guy. I love Dimi. You know what I mean? I can't say anything bad about Dimi.
And he's able to fucking hang in there with the chaos.
Listen, anyone that can be on tour with Skarhead and pretends it doesn't bother him is amazing. I don't know. It's like I had dudes that did 2 tours in Afghanistan that rather go back to Afghanistan to go on tour with Skarhead. That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, yeah. Listen, and also he's Greek, so Greek people are fucking wise people. They're smart. They started everything, Socrates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Danny, let me ask you: any memories about recording Train Yard Blues?
No.
No.
I know that we took the A train all the way. You know, when the train goes over the water back in the day.
Yeah, that's the picture on the back of the record. That's right.
I remember that. That was like the last memories of going over the water. But taking the train. They don't even do that. The train doesn't do that.
That's the picture on the insert.
Remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was recorded in Rockaway, right?
Yeah, Rockaway with the same guy. What was that band? Mitch, a nice guy. But what was the other band? They were big. They had a demo out. They were from Brooklyn. They did their stuff there too. I forgot. Debbie, you don't remember? The band was like a metal band.
No, I just remember Sheer Terror being up in there at that time.
No, it was some of those. I forgot it was good. But the kid, I remember walking into the place. And I saw the kid from and remember we were at Rockaway. Rockaway 116 was like fucking Beirut back then. It was fucked up. You know what I mean? So we were and I seen the kid had long hair. I forgot what his name of his band was, but I saw it. But it was really weird to see someone from they see shows into in another place that like it was like a war zone. I was like, oh shit, that's the kid from that band. I just bothered me right now, but I'll remember the name. But the guy Mitch was cool. It was the first time anyone ever used it was before Pro Tools. Yeah. It was a sampling thing he used. So we sampled, the graffiti thing with Cap. Yeah, he was like, yo, this is a new thing. And he had a computer, and it was like an old computer. It had it was almost like the movie with Matthew Broderick with the game for the computer War Games.
Oh, War Games. War Games.
It was a computer like that, all fucked up, like old school shit. You know, like a big ass computer, green dot. You know, but we sampled that and we did that Blood Wars, baby, for Cap from Star Wars. You know what I mean? So we were the first ones to sample something from like that on that thing, and we all together. No one realizes that. Like hip hop was sampling a lot, but no one's sampling the hardcore. We sampled and people like yo. And it was also
what's up, Drew?
Hey, Rob. Hey, what's up?
Fucking
what is that?
Skarhead.
What
Rob,
is that?
Big Rob over here just chilling.
What is that? What is Rob part of your day-to-day entourage now?
Listen, once you become Skarhead, you can't leave.
Seriously, man, you gotta hang out. You gotta hang out with Isaac all the time.
It's like herpes.
You can't get rid of it. Oh shit.
What's up? So listen, I would say, Dimi, I love you, bro. Dimi is one that listen. Also, Dimi got your father, Chris Douvas, rest in peace. Your dad.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Dimi called me up in the morning, told me what happened, and then we played a show for hours. Hours later, we played the show. Then he bounced to Greece. So he's a trooper. Dimi's a fucking trooper, bro. So listen, everyone out there, that's a real guy. I can't believe a real brother right there, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, I love you, man.
I love this. Drew, you had fun there, mate?
It was, yeah. Thanks for insulting me from the stage profusely. I can't wait to come to the next show.
you, Mark and Ron. I had to go. All I had to say, big shout out to my boy Nick Oliveri. Yo, it was like worlds collided when we met up there in that dressing room. It was like Godzilla versus King Kong.
Yeah. Before you go, I see that you're playing the beach brawl, bro.
Oh, COT, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, COT,
Virginia.
Shout out Ethan. Thank you.
Also, I'm DJing Lucky 13's benefit from Big Rob's mom at Lucky 13's. And I might jump on stage and do a few things with a few people. So we'll see what's going on. Sunday, everyone's to come out.
Yeah, Sunday. That's right. Fury of 5 is headlining.
Shout out to my boy Stickman Fury 5. I love that brother.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, man.
I love you, Joe. Dimi, I love you, Drew. I love you. Keep doing what you have to do. And that's it, yo. That's
all
it.
Right. See you
Peace,
later.
love, and happiness. One.
Later, E.
Holy mackerel. Woo!
You see where I get my energy from? He's unmatched, brother.
He's great. I love that guy, man. You know, fucking love that guy. Yeah. How'd you like the show? It was great. I can't wait to come to the next one and be part of the comedy routine. I just want to go to the fucking show and like sit there. It's so rare that I can go to a show and like just enjoy the show. I'm not playing. I'm not producing it. I don't have these. I just want to enjoy the show. And then, of course, Isaac, Drew Stone, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Christ almighty. But it's all in good. It's all in good fun, you know.
That's right. It's all with love. Everything is with love.
It's all in good fun. You know, I noticed. I mean, we're jumping around a little bit here. But you know, one of the photos that you sent me, which was interesting, which I didn't know, was that you played with Bulldoze a bit.
Yes, I did a tour in 2014. We toured Europe, and it wasn't the original Bulldoze lineup. It was me, Kev 1 being the only original in the band.
Yeah.
So it was me, Kev 1, AK Ray, and my friend David from London filled in on bass. So it was us four, and we did a European tour together in 2014. It was a lot of fun. Cool. And Kev 1, I always had love for him, and he had love for me. So we were friends for a long ass time. So, and playing in that band is also like a brother band too, because the guys in the OG Bulldoze are my brothers. You know, that's my fam right there. Zach, Puda, George, Chris, and of course Brewski Beluski. You know what I mean? That's my brothers. Right? That's my fam.
Speaking of brothers, somebody else just stopped by. So, ladies and gentlemen, another one from Astoria, Queens, Mike DeJean. What's up?
Ooh, wow. Yeah, Mike.
Hola, Diomedes. Hola. What's up, Drew?
What's up, Mikey?
Well, I'm chilling. Watch this. Oh. I'm hanging out I'm hanging out in this little park not far from where Isaac grew up, a few blocks away, where the planes land by LaGuardia.
Wait, is that the Grand Central? Is that the Grand Central Parkway behind you?
Oh,
yeah, look at that.
No shit.
So yeah, I like to grab food from this like vegan place in Jamaica and come here to eat it. And I watch the planes land and I figure out like where I'm going to travel next. It's like some fantasy shit.
Great. Hey, could you give us any perspective on what it's like to have Dimi as a bandmate and your time in Crown of Thorns?
Well, you know, as of like the last few years, he's been like the band psychiatrist. So, you know, he keeps us glued together, man. Like, and that's the way he's always been. He's always been a good voice of reason for us. He's always been like the one guy with, you know, that had, you know, always even keel. That's where, like, you know, I could be hot tempered. E is E, and Jimmy's the glue.
Yeah.
So that's, and we've been friends for most of our life, man. So always good to keep Dimi in my life, always.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. You too. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, could you give us any perspective on what it was on recording Train Yard Blues? Any memories that you have or the process of it?
Well, that studio was recommended for us to record at by Mark Newman from Sheer Terror.
Right.
And Sheer Terror would do like pre-production there, and his drummer at the time lived in Rockaway. So he had access to the place and really swayed me into like picking that place to record. So I like the vibe, not so much the studio, but just being out in Rockaway and like, taking breaks, going to the beach. And it was really, for the band's first recording ever, it just felt really loose. It felt very free. And there was like no pressure. It wasn't even going to be a release. It was just like some, pre-production we were going to do for Blackout Records. And that's why I think it sounds the way it sounds. Because there's like, everything is just like lightning in a bottle, kind of the way we're playing and feeling at the time.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But that record, like, it just came out of left field and put us on the map immediately as to where, like, there were bigger bands that we didn't think they would even consider us to play with them, being that we were brand new, and we found ourselves opening for everybody. And that was pretty fucking awesome. It was like a good wave to ride.
Yeah. Here's a shot from the archive. I guess this is kind of a classic. I think this is Coney Island High or something. Might be. Or yeah, this is a typical 1995 Crown of Thornz show. Just like everybody on top of each other. I think it, yeah. So that kind of speaks to the era. And that's before you went vegan, Mike DeJean.
Well, I don't even think that's me on stage.
Yeah.
I think that's Mitz. To be honest. Yeah.
Huh. I gotta double check that. But here's a more
whatever.
Here's a more recent shot of you and Isaac. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. So I see that
2 lunatics.
Before we let you go, I see you playing. You're going down to Virginia Beach. Is that right?
Yeah, there's like an all-day event in Virginia Beach. A bunch of local talent.
There it is.
And
Beach Brawl.
Yeah, it's going to be great. There's a good scene down there, and there's going to be a lot of people just regionally driving in for that, and we have a good friend putting it on, and it's actually partially a benefit for school supplies for kids.
Oh wow!
For start of school as well. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Good. All right. Good.
Yo, I heard you guys talking about that. So that Astoria show, right?
Yeah.
That you guys were talking about before. That wasn't at a record. That wasn't at a record shop. The guy Tooch from the record shop sponsored the show, and we played it at some like Guido Sports Bar at the Ditmars train station. Right, like so where you would get off to go to the studio to rehearse over there. There's a bar right there. And they never hosted a live show before, and they didn't have a stage. So me and this guy, we went to a party rental place and rented like 12 or 13 party tables and put them in the place and made that the stage. I went underneath and I duct taped them all together and put a bunch of moving blankets on top of it. We destroyed all of them. Because there was people stage diving off these fucking party tables that I had like duct taped together.
I'm trying to find that flyer again. Yeah.
I could have swore Mike H2O didn't play the record store. I think they did, didn't they?
No. That was called. I forgot what the fuck this place was called, but it was like somewhere where like like fucking Guidos hung out.
Fenari.
Wait, I got it.
Fenari's, yeah. Fenari, that was the show. That was a show. And like the guys in No Redeeming played that show naked. And they were wearing fucking like butcher's aprons and had nothing on underneath of it.
There it is. The place was called
Fenari's, right?
No, this is the other show. This is Bohemian Hall, it's called.
No, it wasn't there. We didn't do the show there. It was actually we tried to get that place, and it was moved over to this other place. The only hardcore band that ever played Bohemian Hall was Murphy's Law. And Jimmy was really happy because it was like a legit like Astoria show.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for that piece of history.
Yeah. And then like as far as like Dimmy's time in Stillsuit, I was like sort of their like entourage guy, and so much fun. It's like like when you guys are talking about like the TDT days, and Sean Roberts being their A&R guy. I just remember getting a call from Sean. He's like, yeah, like I'm taking Stillsuit out on the company car tonight. Do you want to come? And I'll be fuck yeah, and then like. We'd be going to like casinos on the label's dime and like doing some fantasy shit, and that was like so much fun.
Yeah, Dimi said that.
Mike, tell them what I would do with the band. Why would I remember I would tell them.
Yeah, so Dimi would call the label and say, yeah, I have a show in Connecticut tonight. I need to go rent the van. So they had an account with this van company called Fantastic. So Dimi would call me up. He's like, yeah, the label thinks I have a show tonight. Let's go pick up the van and go to the casino instead. So we would drive to Foxwoods, like, gamble for 3 hours and go back just because we could.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Just before you go, here's another flyer from the archive that's pretty amazing. It's The Lowdown in Mount Vernon. It's Crown of Thorns, Fahrenheit 451, Awkward Thought, Atlas Shrugged, Hatebreed, and No Redeeming Social Value, 1995. Wow.
Yo, I think didn't Lords of Brooklyn play that show too?
I don't know. I don't see him.
Yeah, I think they hopped on and played with us. And that set off like a cool little thing with us and Lords of Brooklyn as well.
Righto.
Yeah, man.
Crazy. All right, Jeff. All right, Mike. Thank you, bro.
You're welcome.
Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
I just want to shout out Dimi because I love him, and I know he's going through some shit and taking care of some family business. And I just want to thank his parents for letting us like use their basement in the house so we could rehearse when we first started the band, and like just being supportive of us as young kids trying to get our music out, as to where like, other people didn't have that situation. So, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, man. That's why Dimi is the way he is. He has, his parents fucking ruled. So I want to shout out Dimi and his family.
Oh. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Love you, kid.
All right, love you.
All
right.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
When I get back.
All right, you got it.
Okay, now that we're all fucked up. Wow. Yeah. Mike breaking it down. Hey, on another note, have you seen your hardcore trading card?
No.
You haven't seen this?
Oh wow, sick.
Yeah.
Very cool. Damn.
Yeah.
Amazing shit. I'm very honored to be on that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of heads on there. It's wow, very honored. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot.
Wait, you got to see the back. The back is really cool. The back. Here's the back. Boom. The back, very cool.
Oh wow.
Cold front, Stillsuit, Crown of Thorns, Skarhead, Bulldoze, Fit of Anger, Yup Aside, Truth and Rights, Hatebreed, Homicidal, Smoke AD. Wow.
Wow. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Fun fact, Dimi has been one of the hardest people to find info about since the Hardcore Legends trading card project was started in May of 2024. Hopefully we can learn something new during his New York Hardcore Chronicles interview with Drew Stone on August 6th to fill the space in a more constructive way. That's awesome. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hardcore Legends trading cards. Thank you.
Josh,
I appreciate that. I actually collect baseball cards and sports cards too. So Eddie Leeway put me onto it. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He put me onto collecting sports cards. So to have my own, that's amazing. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Wow. Hey, people, some questions are coming in. Let's field a couple of them. And then we'll take a break. But I'm not clear on this. Can you talk about the band Hello Phones?
Yes, it's a band that again, friends. My friend Joe and his wife Francesca, they had a band together as a two-piece, more electronic sounding, more like definitely not a hardcore band, more on the Blondie tip with like a little bit more electronic on top of it, like a newer age Blondie. So she's an amazing vocalist, an amazing performer, amazing songwriter, amazing lyricist. So her and her husband Joe put together music, and at the time they didn't have a drummer; they were just a two-piece, so a husband and wife.
Sure.
And they played me a lot of the music, and I was like, hey, would it be cool to incorporate some drums? And they were like, yeah, for sure. I had jammed with Joe before in a band called The Giant. We had kind of like a rock band, you know what I mean? Definitely not a hardcore band. So we had dealings with that. Like, that's how I, really grew to play with him and learn his stylings. And when he did this with his wife, it was just like a different level and a different, like another alter ego. So I was super into it. You know what I mean? I'm still super into it right now. We play shows here and there. We don't play shows as consistently as before. We did have Orlando from Stillsuit, who plays guitar in Stillsuit. He jumped on the bass on Hello Phones. So that helped us a lot play out more. So right now we have her, Long Island. Orlando has moved to Los Angeles, so he wasn't able to play with Hello Phones recently. But we got Francesca's brother to fill in. So we did a show not too long ago, about 4 or 5 months ago in the city. We played at the piano bar. So it's a totally different vibe than everything else I do. But I definitely love jumping and doing other bands and trying other music. You know what I mean? That's
you're
my
like
speed, you know what I mean?
You're a real journeyman, and that kind of brings us to this. And I know, you were in a couple of the early Hatebreed videos, but a lot of people, and I know that you did a hint in Hatebreed. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. In 1999, shout out to Vaughn Lewis. I got the gig pretty much from Vaughn Lewis. Vaughn Lewis hit me up and was like, Jamie hit me up. Jamie Josta hit me up. They needed a drummer ASAP. So he hit me up and was like, can you do it? And at the time, I was playing with Yup Aside and kind of just, in and out of Yup Aside whenever they needed a drummer. So at the time, it was a nice fit for me. It was fantasy for me actually too, because to play at that time period when that record came out, Satisfaction was, just like it's like a legendary hardcore record, you know what I mean? And it just changed everything in the scene for hardcore pretty much at that moment, because playing with Hatebreed at that time, we were touring with metal bands. We weren't touring with hardcore bands. We were touring, we were crossing over. Sure. So at that time, I did a tour with Motorhead. We toured with Soulfly. And interesting story about touring with Soulfly at the time. About quarter way through the tour, their drummer had, pretty much had issues with the band or whatever and jumped out of it. Roy Mayorga, a good friend of mine. So he was playing drums for Soulfly at the time, and we were on tour with Soulfly. It was Soulfly, Neurosis, and Hatebreed. So when he jumped out of the band, we were in New Jersey at the Birch Hill, and he jumped out of the band. So I remember that morning, Jamie Josta came to me and woke me up and was like, "You got to go jam with Max," because Roy bounced. He's like, "You got to do the show tonight. You got to play drums for Soulfly. You got to do 2 sets." So I was just like, waking up to this was overwhelming. I was like, "What?" So I went to the Max's tour bus. You know, we started talking. He started asking me, "What do you know? What don't you know?" I was like, "I know some of the songs because I was watching Roy, because just like I had said before, I watch drummers when they play, you know what I mean? So I kind of knew what was going on in the set list, how they were rocking their set. And it was pretty much a halfway or a quarter way into the tour, so I got the vibe of what they were doing. So it was definitely an honor to jam with somebody like Max, and I actually filled in for a couple of shows. I did pretty much a quarter of their set. They had the Il Nino drummer, Dave
Chevalier. Dave Chevalier.
Yes, he jumped in and did like whatever songs he knew, and then I jumped in and did the end of the set and the songs I knew. So we did like a mix of. I did mostly a mix of Soulfly and Sepultura songs because I knew the Sepultura songs a little bit. I was more familiar with them. So, and at that time, Roots was in my brain still, you know what I mean? So it was such an amazing record. So I definitely was like pushing to do more of those songs. I was like, "Yeah, Max, I don't know that stuff. Can we do this? Can we do Roots? Can we do Spit?
Yeah, can we do Territory? And can we do
exactly? I was pushing for Sepultura. Meanwhile, he's on tour with Soulfly. So, but that was just an amazing experience to play with both bands at the same time. And then going back to the first tour I did with Hatebreed with Motorhead, Jamie Josta still talks about it to this day, that it was one of his favorite tours. And to me, it was like life-changing again because I got to tour with Lemmy, you know what I mean? Lemmy is, the stalwart, you know what I mean? The legend, you know what I mean? Like, he's like Halley's Comet, only came through once, you know what I mean? It's something to be witnessed, you know what I mean? And I got to witness it every day for a little while, so that was amazing. And shout out to Mickey D, the drummer from Motorhead at the time. There was a sound check. When I was doing sound check one day with Hatebreed, I'll never forget this. It was definitely something my gratitude is forever for him, because I was playing and I'm going through my motions in sound check, and I was playing with a cracked cymbal. So he came up on stage right when I finished, and he's like, "Your cymbal's cracked." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have the money at the time, you know what I mean? He's like, "Wait here 1 second." He got one of his roadies. He brought me like a brand new cymbal.
Wow.
He was like, "It's all yours." And I was like, "Brother, how much do I owe you?" And he was like, "We're good. You know what I mean? We're good. You're on this tour. You know, buy me a beer. We're good. You know what I mean? We're good." So shout out to Mickey D for looking out big time. That was like, you know what I mean, a huge experience for me too. I was like, I can't believe this dude who I used to watch playing in King Diamond, now playing with Motorhead at that time, and now he plays in Scorpions. So that guy's just like a stalwart drummer. You know
I saw I was at an Ozfest, the one that Life of Agony was on, when they had the singer for Ugly Kid Joe singing, and Motorhead was headlining the small stage at Ozfest that day, and I was I had a pass or whatever, and I got on. It was a small stage. It was the small stage, and I sat right behind on the side of Mickey D and watched him play the whole Motorhead set, like very close. It was pretty mind blowing. I mean, he's incredible. Yeah, so and that's your man. He's Greek.
Yes, he's he's a Greek too. It's amazing.
Greek.
And then the rest of the guys in the band were like, "It's only because you're Greek." You know what I mean? That's why I got hooked up. Yeah. I remember Chris telling me that's only because you're Greek.
This is another one that came up. I don't know, how you wanna feel this, but Skarhead, Hatebreed, Dropkick Murphys, Motorhead 1999 tour. What happened?
Yeah, it was crazy because at the time I was there. Like me and E and Dejan and Hoya kind of started Skarhead. We did start Skarhead. So it was definitely weird being on that tour playing with Hatebreed, watching Skarhead play. You know what I mean?
So you were on the tour with Hatebreed.
Playing with Hatebreed, exactly. And then Skarhead had Goat was playing with Skarhead at the time. So it was definitely a crazy experience for me watching Skarhead play every night. You know what I mean?
That's
So
crazy.
Skarhead did get dropped off that tour early on. A lot of chaos happened, and some things happened behind the scenes. They were accused of doing things by Motorhead, so they got kicked off the tour, like pretty early in the tour. They didn't. And Skarhead didn't last long on that tour.
Yeah, they imploded.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell
And by the way, Lemmy as a person was the fucking nicest, most gentle person ever. You know what I mean? He wanted to just hang out and do his thing, just vibed with everybody. You know what I mean? Nicest person ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was great.
He was super cool with us. We went out many nights with many titty bars, many casinos with him. He loved that shit.
Yeah, he was a blast. Let me take a quick sponsor break. Talk about some upcoming events that are going on. We'll come back. We'll take some questions from around the world. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
We are Motorhead. We are rock and roll. Whew. Man, I saw a couple of those. That was amazing. We are Motorhead. We are rock and roll. Woo! Woo! Get chills just thinking about it. That said, this is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by blah, 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design one-off pieces as well as the styling for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock Roll Hall of Famers, Ringo Starr, Greg Rollet, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. Come on now, Mad Vintage buys, sells, and collects band shirts, primarily hardcore. The DIY operation was started and is operated by a hardcore kid who just loves collecting and eventually got into vintage clothing, specifically the realm of vintage band shirts. They're always looking to buy out collections to either keep, sell, or trade new shirts out of the daily at www.madvintage.com and post it on Instagram. Dig deep into that closet of crap and reach out to them. Help me help you, Mad Vintage. Last but not least, 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise, like you, my friend. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. Be true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspective while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. That said, I want to mention some upcoming events. Yes, it's true. It's going down. This Friday, out in Pennsylvania, in Clearwater, Pennsylvania, the Upstage Music Fest. I'm excited. I hope that you are too. Incendiary Devices playing out there with E-Town Concrete, Sworn Enemy, Mephistopheles, Tension, Brick by Brick, Brass Knuckle Brigade, and many more. This is a 3-day fest, kind of a cool 3-day fest. The first day is wrestling. The second day is Leonard Skinner Tribute Band. And this is the third day. So this is going to be very cool. Hope to see some friends out there. That's this Friday. Just a heads up, Minty Fresh presents at the American Legion Post 434 in Englishtown, New Jersey. This is the second show that they're doing out there. Cropsey, Silence Equals Death, Tear Gas, Push, Faded Line, Redwoods, and Dearly Departed. It is it's a American Legion Post show. It's very cool. We played the first one. Come on out and support this event on Saturday, August 16th. It's all ages. Veterans get in for free. Yo, Saturday, August 31st, Demise, free all ages Sunday matinee on the Bowery. Nailed to the Cross, Cropsey, Jackknife Johnny, Concrete Burial, Sid the Kid Sound System. Yo, the next day is a holiday. We have decided to do a after show. We are doing an after show bash at the Bowery Electric Sunday, August 31st after the matinee. Yo, My War is playing selections from the Great American Hardcore Songbook, special guest singers. That's what the after show bash is going to be. My War's doing it. It's going to be a blast. Whole bunch of new singers, whole bunch of new songs. We've done this a couple of other times. I'm playing guitar. It's a lot of fun. I hope you can make it. Yo, ID's playing with Tree again, this time in Worcester, Massachusetts. Tree, ID, Catching Hell, and Motor Mags, Saturday, September 6th in Ralph's Rock Diner. I guess it's an outdoor show. They build an outdoor stage. Sunday, September 14th at the Bowery Electric, the Bronx Historical Society presents 24/7 Spies, Rebelmatic, Ake, Deadshot, and Fulano. This hasn't been announced yet, but yo, if you were out in Boontown, New Jersey on Saturday, October 11th, AC Slade, our friend from the Misfits, and Dope and Murder Dolls, has a coffee house out there, Catfight Coffee. We are screening the Michael Alago film. Who the fuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago. After the screening, I'm doing a Q&A with Alago. It's been a long time since we have screened this film, so I'm looking forward to it. That's Saturday, October 11th, Boontown, New Jersey, represent. Yo, ID playing the Bowery Electric October 12th with non-residents Dead Blow Hammer, Overstand, and Steel Toe Solution. And then, same show. I don't know which flyer you like better. This one or this one. Overstand and Steel Toe Solution. And then Crash Fest, October 18th. We're playing with GBH out in San Francisco, which finally brings us to the Holiday Slamboree, Women of the Pit Coat Drive with World of Chaos, Serial Poets, Tree, Butterbrain, and we will be doing My War again. So lots going on in the world of hardcore. So that said, yes, Overstand is from Arizona. That's Todd, the kid from Warzone. And yes, start collecting those coats for the Women of the Pit Coat Drive. Many, many shows going on. Hey, it's question time. So ask your weird, deep questions to, yes, God bless Dimi's parents. Absolutely. Post your questions. Go deep, get weird. Let's bring our guest back on, Mr. Dimi Douvas. Hey, man.
What up, Joe?
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's see.
You did some verbal gymnastics there. I liked it.
What's that? What?
You did some verbal gymnastics there. That was awesome.
Let's see. What do we got? Post some questions. Do you only play drums?
Yes.
That's
I
it.
sing in my shower. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. I only play drums. I don't fuck with anything else. I try to keep it real. Just one way. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
I hone in on one thing and focus on one thing only.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay. Good one. I like this one a lot. Now, we mentioned, no, we haven't mentioned, but I'm mentioning it now. Wait, here it is. I'm going to segues good into this. Of course, you played with the late, great Eddie Sutton in Truth and Rights, correct?
Yeah.
And we have a question.
Again, I got to play with like another legendary, singer. Like I've been so blessed, Drew, like to play with like my favorite singers. You know what I mean? Like so blessed. Eddie was like a huge influence on me. You know what I mean? Huge. Like his band, especially Desperate. Like everybody's like Born to Expire. For me, it was Desperate Measures. Desperate Measures. That record changed me, especially Pokey's playing on that is just outstanding. Like you know what I mean? It's amazing. You know what I mean? And Gibbons playing on that was fucking the leads on those songs are just like he was like the New York hardcore Eddie Van Halen. You know what I mean? Randy
those two records, man. You know,
yeah,
and you're right. Pokey's drumming on that second record. He was like a freight train, man. He was really, a lot of hip hop influence too in there. You could hear it in the beats. You know what I mean? It's awesome. Pokey had and has good feet. I mean, his feet. I think his feet on that second Leeway record, man. is great. So Dave RC asks, cool story about the late great Eddie Leeway.
Not just one story. There's like, overall, the guy is like, he was a legend. You know what I mean? And we first got together. I jammed with him with Leeway NYC. So Truth and Rights kind of, at the same time, he wanted to do something new. So we started doing Truth and Rights, and shout out to Zach and Ray Fonseca and John D for putting together the band. We all got together and really, made the band something like we were trying to do something that wasn't Leeway, with Eddie's voice. You know what I mean? And I think we accomplished that. You know what I mean? That record, I love that record. You know what I mean? It's some of my favorite songs that he's ever done are on that record.
On this one, Green Light.
No, the other one you showed, the Lies and Slights, the second one, yeah.
Got it.
The first one's just an EP, Green Light, so that was just like the beginning period of Truth and Rights. So we were still trying to like get our bearings in the band.
Right.
When we did our second record, that was more like Eddie was more comfortable in what he was doing. Zach, Ray, John D, and myself were definitely more comfortable in a room together. You know what I mean? Instead of like trying and thinking too much, we were just doing,
M1000 says, pleasure playing with you in the first incarnation of Leeway.
You too, Mark. You too, for sure. Mark was a big part of that. It was me, Matty Pasta, Mark Thousands, Ray, who plays bass in Ache. He plays bass in Ache? Yeah, he plays bass in Ache. He also played bass in Leeway NYC at that time, so it was a cool live. And then we later on he played full time in Ache, and we got Dank, who also played in Whiplash and plays in Fug It. So he filled in later on. So it was me, Mark Thousands, Matty Pasta, and Dank. And we did a lot of touring from 2014 to 2016. Played a lot of shows, a lot of big shows too. We did Black and Blue, 2016, Webster Hall. So I had a lot of fun. And Eddie, you know what I mean? The guy really, a true, historian also. So I remember him just being, he put me onto a lot of things, so many things, you know what I mean? So his loss is, insurmountable. It's crazy. He's, legend. Rest in peace forever.
Danny Cole asks, always curious what sticks others use.
Yeah, I use whatever I can find.
Is that right?
It happened the other night. Friday night it happened. I had to borrow Jerry's from Ache. Shout out to Jerry. Yeah, I like if I had my choice, I would just stick with 5A or 5B, but honestly, whatever gets in my hands, I try to make it work.
You're like Rocky. You're just like a real meat. You're like a real ham and egg. When they ask Rocky to fight Apollo Creed, he says, "I'm a ham and eggs guy." Like you're just a real, you're a real.
I go with the flow. You know what I mean? Whatever's available. You know what I mean? I don't bitch and complain about nothing. You know what I mean? I just go with the flow. I'm a free spirit. So whatever it takes me that way.
Yeah,
it's cool. You know what I mean? A 2-piece drum set. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? I'll make it work. You know what I mean? Make it work.
Fireman 718 asks, did we discuss Dimi's love for baseball?
Yeah. Well, we haven't, but I do love playing. I play on a team.
Is that right?
Still. Yeah. And I play on 2 softball teams also. One with Cheeky from Demise. He actually got me in one of the teams too. We were at This Is Hardcore about 2 years ago. Danny Isaac was DJing at This Is Hardcore, the after party. And Cheeky came up to me. He's like, "Don't you play?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "We need a guy from my team." It's actually the hat I'm wearing. The Triple Crown.
That's what the hat is. Somebody was asking, "What's the hat you're wearing?" What is? Let me see.
Yeah, it's a team I play on, the Triple Crown Royals. So we did win the championship last year too. So shout out to Cheeky for putting me onto that. And just sports is like when I was very, very young, that's all I did was play baseball. So I played in high school too. That's all I did. So. It was either sports or music, and I went music because
what position
there
do you
was
play?
More women in music than in baseball. More women going to shows than going to baseball games. So,
what position do you play?
Currently, I play third base, but when I was in high school, I was playing second base. So, and I actually in high school, I got to play against Manny Ramirez, who later went on to he's in my mind, one of the best Dominican players ever to play the game next to Sammy Sosa.
Manny Ramirez is from Washington Heights.
Exactly. So my team, I was in Long Island City High School at the time, and we had a travel game, And I remember my coach saying, listen, there's going to be a lot of scouts at this game, major league scouts, but they're not here to see you guys. They're here to see Manny. So don't get it twisted. So shout out to my coach, Mr. Beater.
Wow.
He looked out for me big time, and he didn't get anybody's fantasy. You know what I mean? He didn't get anybody. Just play within yourself, play your game. They're not here to see you. Don't try to do the extra. Just play your game. And I really stuck with me with almost everything I do. You know what I mean? I just try to do what I can.
Are you a baseball fan in general, or are you, or is it Yankees or Mets? Do you have a favorite?
It's Yankees a little more, just because I went to my first Yankees game. I went to a baseball game. The first baseball game I went to was in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. So
yeah, got it.
But I have love for both teams. I'm a New Yorker, you know what I mean? So I hate when people are like, "Hey, fuck you don't like the Mets." I love, you know what I mean? The 86 Mets were just like life changing, you know what I mean? How could you not, you know what I mean? And even the 2015 Mets, you know, just a joy to watch, you know?
My love for New York sports has waned a bit over the years, but I've always said I'm just a New York sports fan. I love just, you know, whoever's doing well. I loved New York sports. I've lost a little interest in a couple of things, but you know, I return to it every now and then. Eric Watson asks, any new projects you're working on?
Yes, I am currently working on a band with Zach Thorn from Bulldoze and George from Bulldoze. So we're currently recording, and it should be out soon. So yeah, we're not gonna really divulge too much because we signed fucking NDs right now, so we can't really disclose too much. We're just working together. We're putting out new music. It doesn't sound anything like anything we've done before. So it's just three of us. It's the three of us for now. So
very cool. Hey, what? Just looking at some of the pictures that you sent me, I just want to. Here's one that we didn't really talk about. If you could just give us a line or two. This is Fit of Anger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So this was around like 98. And rest in peace, Nick Sorello. That's Grandpa, right next to Chris B. If you look all the way, I guess my right. Chris B, Nick Sorello, rest in peace. Right next to him, he was our singer. Myself and Nick Benetos, Nick B, who was also in Cold Front. So we recorded in Astoria. We made a full-length record, pretty much of songs they already had from the New Breed comp, stuff like, you know, the song that they did have on the New Breed and a bunch of other songs. So we did it in Astoria. We did it on Steinway Street at a studio called Libra Digital Studios. Noah Evans, AJ Novello, they were producers. And that same studio at the same time, Big Daddy Kane was recording in there too. So that was pretty awesome just to see him coming in and out of the studio while we're rocking with Fit of Anger. You know what I mean? Shout out to JR too. He was part of that. JR from Outburst, the guitar player from Outburst. He was part of that too. So that was a great time. Great time. Shout out. Those are my brothers too. I love them all. And like I said before, rest in peace, Nick Cirillo. Sorely missed. Love you, kid.
Right on. Let's see. Well, this is funny, and I'll partially answer this. Craziest show you ever played? Listen, this is a guy that plays with Ezak. So the craziest show. Every show is the craziest show. Yeah. It's pretty amazing that you've been at it that long through all the craziness, you know?
Yeah. I can't say there's one. I really, really can't say. I mean, like size-wise, probably the craziest show I played was with Hatebreed. Like size-wise, like amount of people. Right. But as far as chaos, I would say the Crown of Thornz stuff was pretty much the most chaotic shit. I mean, we played like the show that you opened up the show with at Coney Island High. That was just, you know what I mean? That was just another one of those shows where it was chaos. You know what I mean? It was circus. You know, it was so much energy. It was like overwhelming for us and for the people who were watching us.
I mean, look at this one. Bulldoze, Crown of Thornz. You know, where is it? At CB's. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Good times. Such good times, man. Great memories.
When's the next Crown of Thornz show?
September 5th.
Yeah. That's the let me put that
back.
We
don't have anything yet going on in the city or anything nearby, but we will definitely soon.
Yeah.
Probably in November.
Let's see. And here, just they're playing Beach Brawl. Crown of Thornz is
Yeah.
playing Beach Brawl, and down in Virginia Beach. It's a 2-day affair with lots of bands. So that's, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So cool. All right. I think we covered it, man. Oh, anybody you need to shout out? Any sponsors? Any gear things?
Yes, I'm actually just started working with a drum company called Monero Drums. Monero Drums do snare drums exclusively right now, so I'm working with Sal from Monero Drums. I'm working on a snare, kind of like a custom snare. We're kind of just going off of each other's what we kind of like envision my snare drums to sound like when I play live. So shout out to Sal and Monero Drums, and we'll be coming out with a snare pretty soon that everybody's gonna rock in here at every one of my shows that I play.
Very cool. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out as we head towards the door?
First and foremost, my godson, Giannis. Godson, who's his father is George from Bulldoze. So my godson, Giannis, and his brother, Dimi. Obviously, every member that I played in a band with, you know what I mean? Especially, obviously, Isaac, Mike DeJean, Paul Delaney, who plays with Crown of Thornz now. That's my brother right there. I love him. Stillsuit guys, Orlando, who wrote all the music. Love you. Julian, Manny. Pretty much all the bands that I played with, all the members. Bulldoze guys, that's my fam. Like I said before, you know what I mean? There's so many people to shout out. I'll be on here forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of respect to all my friends. You know what I mean? And a lot of love to all my friends who support me. You know what I mean? Who come to my shows and like help me through the tough times. You know what I mean? And hit me up and just support me. You know what I mean? Like the Friday night show that I just did with Skarhead, there was no way I would be able to do that show without people like you, Drew, who came to the show and supported me when I was going through a rough time. You know what I mean? It was one of the hardest days of my life, losing my parent, you know what I mean, my dad. So it was definitely one of the hardest days of my life because, going through some of that and then having the show happen at the same time. And I know that's what he would want me to do. So that's why I'm my father's son. And that's why I played that show. A lot of people were like, I can't believe you're playing. And to honor him, that's what I did. You know what I mean? I stepped up and I was like, you know what? I'm playing the show. The show was booked months ago, you know what I mean? And this happened, the tragedy happened that day. So it's not going to stop me. And I know my dad was looking down on me and definitely proud of me, you know what I mean? And that's all I aspired to do in my life was just, make my parents proud. So.
Absolutely. And you did. And you're an honorable man and we all love you.
Thank you, bro.
So
thank you.
Great. And I know, you're in Greece for a while longer, dealing with your dad's affairs, and we look forward to seeing you back in New York City, brother. I'll be back soon. Astoria is the center of the universe for me, and it always will be. And New York hardcore is my family. That's always going to be with me. You know what I mean? I'll always be with them for sure. I have great love for a lot of bands and a lot of people in the New York hardcore scene. Guys who are in bands and people who are not. You know what I mean? Yeah. 100%. That's my extended family for sure. So I'm here in Greece with my family, my immediate family, but back home in Astoria, I'm with my New York hardcore family. Absolutely. I will talk to you. Scam does too. Love you, Scam, brother. Thank you so much. Shout out to Scam. Shout out to Isaac. Yep. Everybody. Shout out to Skarhead guys too. Everybody in Skarhead. Everybody who's played in Skarhead in the past. There's so many members that I played with in and out of that band. So many members. You know what I mean? A lot of love for all of them. Yeah. Good. I'll talk to you soon, Dimi. Thank you. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you a lot, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Woo. There you go. Dimi Douvas. And for those that didn't pick up on it, sadly, Dimi's father passed away the other day, and he found out in the morning, and he went and played the Skarhead show that night with the Dwarves here in New York City. And he's in Greece right now dealing with his father's affairs. So very emotional, very heavy, a very honorable man. And we're lucky to have him. He came on the show and really took care of it, lived up to his commitments. And that's a good man right there. So great guest. And thanks everybody for for hanging in there. It was very courageous of him. He's a trooper. That's right. And if you missed it earlier on, the 400 show is going to be Brian Baker, and who's an old friend. And that's what I want. That's who I wanted on the 400 show. I wanted an old friend. I wanted somebody that I know, and that I just knew was going to be great. I just wanted it to be great. So that said, we will see you 1 week from today with Alec Mackay. I'm going to be at the Upstage Music Fest on Friday. On Saturday. So there's I think this is one of the rare Sundays where we're not doing the show and I'm not down at the Bowery Electric. I think that's happened 3 times in the past 5 years. I'll be driving back from the Upstage Music Fest on that day. So that said, thanks a lot, everybody. What can I say? I'm grateful that you're a part of this journey, the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. I love doing it. I'm very blessed. And, we'll just march on into the future. And till then, do good things, and good things will come to you.